Key West is an amazing destination. Surrounded by water, it is known for excellent fishing and water sports. The laid-back, accepting, chill vibe is unique in the United States. Whether you are visiting for the day from a cruise or you plan to stay a week, Key West is a great destination for any aged traveler. I have several tips to make the most of your time in Key West, today on Seymour Seas. Key West is one of my most favorite destinations. I have been there many times over the last 20 years. Now, Key West has changed and evolved like anywhere else, but the relaxing, chill vibe, that has not changed. You can expect a fun, unique experience right here in the southernmost part of the United States. Stay tuned while I give you my top tips for visiting Key West, Florida. Hi everybody and welcome. If you are new here, I am Doug and this is Seymour Seas, your cruise tips and planning channel where I hope to help you and your family pick, plan, and enjoy, and now book your next cruise vacation. If you do find this video helpful in any way, as always, please give it that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Thanks so much and let's get started. No matter how you find yourself visiting Key West, there are so many things to do. Let's begin by seeing what you can do in a single day when arriving by cruise ship. There are two main piers for cruise ships in Key West. One is right next to the very popular Mallory Square, where you see the famous Sunset Festival. And then there is one right behind that, somewhat located within a naval base. Now, one of the things, if you are in that secondary pier, there are trolleys from downtown Key West that take you right downtown. It's only a very short ride away. So there is transportation from that particular cruise ship berth. There is a bit of controversy in Key West regarding cruise ships, where the commissioners voted unanimously to limit the amount of cruise ships that visit Key West and the size, and with other stipulations. However, that has not yet been fully enacted, so the limitations on cruise ship passengers in Key West has not taken effect, and the future of that is very uncertain. When arriving in Key West by cruise ship, you normally get there and the ship is cleared by around 7 a.m., 7:30, and then you normally leave around 6 o'clock, which means an all aboard time of about 5:30. Now, some ships do leave much later than that, so make sure that you check your itinerary. You will have many choices pre-cruise and while on board to purchase excursions for Key West. There are tons of full day, half day excursions that will allow you to do a number of different things, but still be able to enjoy the downtown area of Key West. Key West is extremely walkable, and there are so many bars and restaurants and shops and great places to eat lunch that are highly accessible, and outside seating is abundant with lunch or a snack under a beautiful banyan tree. So take advantage of the walkability of downtown Key West. With that, let me share with you some of my top picks for spending a single day in Key West. As you exit your cruise ship or being dropped off by the trolley, you're going to be right downtown close to Mallory Square. Now, there are a few new resorts that are right next to Mallory Square that have some high-end shops, and they have some oceanside restaurants that are very popular. Mallory Square is the meeting point where everybody goes to for the Sunset Festival. Unfortunately, you're probably going to be leaving on your cruise ship just as the sun sets, so you won't be able to take advantage of that, but there are still tons of different shops and activities just located surrounding Mallory Square. Just off of Mallory Square, you're going to begin your walk down the famous Duval Street. Duval Street is the centralized roadway in downtown Key West. However, all of the adjoining side streets have a lot to offer as well. So check out the amazing architecture down some of the side streets. There are a few landmark locations on Duval Street. The first is going to be the very infamous Sloppy Joe's. Sloppy Joe's is a great large bar area with some bar food snacks. In the late morning and during the afternoon and evenings, you're going to see live music there on the main stage, and they also have a very small gift shop located there. I absolutely love Sloppy Joe's and always make sure I step in when I'm in Key West. Just across the street and down a little, you're going to find the Hogs Breath Saloon. This is also a very popular landmark bar right off of Duval Street. It's a much smaller bar, and they'll probably have some sort of a guitar player or performer there at the tiki bar. There is going to be a restaurant attached that's not as popular, but Hogs Breath is a destination. I have many t-shirts from the attached gift shop, and the Hogs Breath Saloon also has a live webcam, which I'll leave the link below. One more landmark bar on Duval Street is The Bowl. This has been known and has been said to be a favorite of Jimmy Buffett. You normally will have Buffett music being piped out onto the street, and this is a 3-story bar, and it is absolutely fantastic for people watching on Duval Street. So if you want to take a load off and have a beer, that's a great place to do it. The second floor has a great balcony that you can sit at small tables that overlooks Duval Street, and the 3rd story in the past used to be clothing optional. Now, Key West has evolved over the years, as I said before, so I'm not sure if this is actually the case. Some of you out there that are familiar with Key West, let me know if that still goes on today. If you are looking to do an excursion for a couple hours or a half day, morning or afternoon, there are so many activities to choose from. The most popular are the water sports. Now, there are tons of different things to do, and you might want to go snorkeling via a catamaran, and there are different sizes of those tours. You might also, if you're up for it, do a fishing charter. There's several to choose from, and then there's also a lot of parasailing options, and you can rent a wave runner or jet ski from a variety of different locations. At the beginning of Duval Street, you are going to see the popular conch train. The conch train is a multi-car, open-aired seating where you are taken around all of Key West downtown, given a history of Old Town and a lot of the facts and stories from your tour guide. Also, near the Shipwreck Museum, right next door, you're going to see the trolleys. The trolleys, most of the time, are hop on, hop off, and you can get on it anytime throughout the day. This is also a guided tour, and you are going to be taken around very similar spots than you will see on the conch train, but it is more enclosed and it's a smaller group. Another big tourist spot in downtown Key West is at the opposite end of Duval Street, near the southernmost resorts, and that is the southernmost point. This is said to be the most southern spot in the United States, and you will see on the monument that it is 90 miles to Cuba. You will be able to get in line and wait your turn to have someone take your photo right there at the southernmost point. One more really great excursion that you can look into in Key West is a helicopter tour over the port and all over the island. We took one a few years ago and it was absolutely fantastic. You can just take a quick Uber over to the airport and hop on your tour helicopter, and you can have a 30-minute aerial tour of Key West. This was not through the cruise line. This was something that I booked third party, so take a look and do a search. You'll probably be able to find similar on Viator or TripAdvisor. Key West is not normally known for their beaches. There are a couple available, and quite frankly, they're not that great. Now, the one that I would recommend that you do attempt to go to is the one right next to and within the public state park area of Fort Zachary Taylor Fort and Beach. Now, there is a small charge to enter the area, and it does cover access to the beach as well as the fort itself. I have been to Key West many, many times, and just on this last trip, we made our way over there. It is quite a long walk from downtown. I would say probably 15-20 minutes. So depending on your physical abilities, you may want to consider taking an Uber over there. Now, once you get inside the park, the fort is there, and then if you continue going straight, you will find a large open area with a rocky area front, and then to the left of that, you will have a beautiful small beach area. There are restrooms. There is a clubhouse there with a restaurant. You can rent umbrellas as well as lounge chairs from the attendant. But it is a very, very quiet, nice, serene beach area and something that I would actually enjoy taking advantage of. So as you see the beach here, there are lots of places with picnic tables to have a great lunch if you want to bring your cooler with you, or as I said, you can purchase food from the clubhouse snack shop, as well as that's where the bathrooms are located as well. As you make your way back out of the park area, you will see Fort Taylor, and this is included in your admission to the area. And it's a really cool old ancient stone fort. It was used to defend the Key West Channel from a Spain invasion. We really enjoyed touring the fort, and it's something that I do highly recommend, and you can easily do within a day trip when visiting on a cruise ship. Another fun thing to do on a day trip to Key West is visit Harry S. Truman's Little White House. This is Truman's getaway for the winter, and he visited Key West for this location many, many times. There is a small fee to enter. I believe it's about $22, and this can be combined with some of the conch train and trolley adventures that you might want to consider. We have visited the Truman Little White House a few times, and it is a great venue for the day trip. Another thing to do in downtown Key West is to visit the Hemmingway House. The famous author Ernest Hemingway made Key West his home in the 1930s. This is a beautiful house and museum with daily entry rates starting at around $18 for a guided tour. And this is something to definitely see. And you may have heard about Hemingway's special six-toed cats. You'll see them all over the property. This is only a short walk off of Duval Street from downtown Key West. There are a few museums in Key West that you can also visit with a day trip. One of them is located right down by Mallory Square, and that is the aquarium. The aquarium is quite small, it's kind of touristy, and for the price, I really don't think it's that good of a value. Across from the aquarium is the Shipwreck Museum, which I mentioned earlier, and this is also very small. With the price, I also do not consider this a very good value, although you do get to climb the large wooden tower with great views of all of downtown Key West and the bay. As you make your way up Duval Street towards the southernmost point, you will also find the Cuban History Museum, and this is something that I really, really enjoyed. It's an old school building, and they converted it to celebrate the Cubans that migrated here and is a big, big influence in the Key West society. As you move down Duval Street a little further and you get near the southernmost point at the other end from the cruise port, you're going to find a butterfly conservatory. This is extremely popular, I have never been. I've seen it many times, but people that I know that have been there have really enjoyed it. Those are a lot of options for you to do on a day trip by cruise port in Key West. There's also a lot of places to eat if you are just going to walk Duval Street and some of the side streets. If you want to stop for a bite to eat, there are tons of lunch spots, outdoor seating, beautiful views of the street, people watching. Some of my favorites on Duval Street would be Fogarty's, which is an outside seating kind of raw bar burger sandwich place. Then across the street, you have Caroline's Cafe. That's a really nice spot as well. You'll be sitting outside under these huge banyan trees, which is really, really cool. You also have a couple chain alternatives, such as Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville, and you also have Hard Rock Cafe. Again, these are pretty much standard in any port, and if you want something different, I'd recommend some of the local spots. Down at the other end, near the southernmost point, you have another personal favorite of mine. That is Southernmost Beach Cafe. It's right there on the water. They serve great Bloody Marys. It's a great brunch spot as well as a great lunch spot as well. You'll find many other options on Duval Street, from fine dining to just sidewalk restaurants where you can grab a slice of pizza, maybe a burger, and lots of other raw bar type offerings. There are many other popular restaurants off of Duval Street on some of the side streets, which is a little bit more of a walk, but some of those include Ram's Head, so make sure you check where that is located. Blue Heaven is a landmark restaurant, very much known for its brunches and breakfast items, but they also have a great lunch menu as well. And this is also outside seating under a canopy of trees. Bistro 245 is an upscale oceanside outside restaurant, very much near the port in the area of the newer resorts right there across from and beside Mallory Square. The Conch Republic Seafood Company and A&B Lobster House are other options that are very, very good. And this is going to be a further walk off of Duval Street near a marina that has a lot of fishing charters. It is located by the Hyatt Centric Resort. One more personal favorite of mine is the Half Shell Raw Bar. This is going to be located further on down from A&B Lobster House, still on the water, pretty much between there and the naval base barracks and housing. So make sure you take a look on Google Maps. It is walkable, and it is one of my personal favorites. So you can see there are many, many things to do in Key West, and that's why it is a favorite for cruise lines to stop there for the day. It's very, very unique and very different from what you would find anywhere else in the continental United States. If you would like to visit Key West for longer than just the day on a cruise ship, there are many options available to you, and not just Key West. All of the Florida Keys have a lot to offer. Now, there are various options in getting to the Florida Keys, one of which is to fly into Miami and then drive down to the specific key that you're visiting. Key West is about, I would say, a 3 to 4 hour drive from Miami, depending on traffic. And then there are other small keys that are very popular in the middle keys that won't take you as long. You absolutely can fly into Key West. Most major commercial airlines do have flights into Key West. You might change planes in Miami and get on a small island hopper before getting down to Key West. There are many different types of accommodations in Key West and the lower Keys. There are obviously lots of high-end resorts. There are fishing marina villages that have bungalows on the beach. They have motels, hotels. There are Airbnbs. There are houseboats. There are a number of different options, and one that you can probably find that will fit your budget and the amenities that you're looking for. We tend to like Airbnbs because of the full kitchen, and we recently stayed at the Lorette, which is on the north side of Key West, and it's an all-suites hotel with a kitchen, so we saved some money, ate a late breakfast before we went out for the day. I highly recommend that if you're staying for a few days and up to a week. Also, something to consider when staying in Key West for multiple days is parking is very difficult and at a minimum. So one thing that I like to do when staying there is rent scooters or bicycles. There are free scooter parking areas all over downtown, on and off of Duval Street, as well at most restaurants, grocery stores, and other types of venues. If you are in Key West for several days, you obviously can take advantage of all of those day trip activities that I just described. However, there are some unique things that do require a little bit more time or happen in the evenings. So one of them is a major excursion to the Dry Tortugas, and that is a long ferry ride from downtown Key West to a U.S. National Park, which is another fortress that was used many, many years ago, and it does take the entire day. This is somewhat expensive as well. It's going to be about anywhere between $225 and $250 per person for the entire day. They do have breakfast and lunch provided to you on the ferry. There are also sunset cruises. The Sunset Festival held at Mallory Square each evening is very, very popular, and you can go on a catamaran out to the bay for a cruise and sailing to watch the sunset. Some of these are booze cruises, others are smaller, more relaxing excursions. In the evening, you'll also see that Key West has a graveyard and ghost tour. Now, this is pretty gimmicky. They also have these things in New Orleans. We've never done them, but going around Old Town at night, hearing about all of the history is kind of fun, and if you're into that thing, you'll probably enjoy it. Another thing to look out for while you're there for a few days are those six-toed cats by the Hemmingway House, and you're also going to see tons of roosters and chickens walking freely in the street. If you take one of the trolley or conch train tours, they're going to give you a full history of what that's all about. If you find yourself in Key West for the day, or you're planning to spend a week there, I hope that you found these tips helpful. If you did, please do give this video a big old thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Thanks everybody so much for watching, and make sure you check out one of these videos next. Thanks again, and I'll see you again soon.